I mean, I think the ideal situation would be the intro as just this as an intro, just as a kind of awkward lead-in because we've been away for like 2 months.
So this is live now, but we'll do the sync up thing,
Yeah.
and then we'll do the actual intro, and it'll all be part of the video. Like, I'll edit it so this part's like dark, and then once I do like the "Hey everyone" bit, it'll like go brighter.
Yeah, exactly.
And it'll all be clever and subversive, not sort of subversive. Alright, then we're gonna do this fucking sync shit. How do we fucking do this? It's like
Yeah.
okay.
Like we like okay. Like 3, 2, 1, clap, like that kind of deal.
Yeah, okay. 3.
Okay, wait, hold on. Do we go on clap or do we go on 1?
We go on a clap as if there's a next one. So 3, 2, 1. Okay, that sounded awful, but we'll try one more. 3, 2, 1, clap. Okay, cool. That
How do we get Voxgull back alive?
hold on. We haven't even fucking introed the fucking thing yet.
Oh no, we do Voxgull, then we intro.
Do we? Okay, shit.
Yeah.
So Voxgull's fucking dead. It's offline on Discord. We don't know how that works. What that means. It's a bot.
Our third member Voxgull has
It's fucking.
has perished since we last spoke.
Yeah. Okay. So the command's exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. Record doesn't fix it. Exclamation mark. Wake the fuck up doesn't fix it. Okay, no, none of this is working. All right then, fuck it. We're going.
We can't continue without Voxgull. He is easily the most charismatic member.
Well, I mean, I can't wake him up, so we're gonna have to fucking do it anyway. Come on, this intro's gone on for fucking like 5 minutes now. People are gonna be getting pissed off. This isn't actually entertaining or good. Are you ready to start?
It's subversive, and that's okay.
Okay, you ready to start the fucking podcast properly now?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Alright,
Even though we don't have Voxgull, my boy Voxgull.
Fucking hell. I'm gonna have to edit the image to make it so his eye's like dark now as well. Fuck, okay. So, how do I do this? Hello everybody and welcome back to Nobodies on the Noosphere, episode 3. Finally, after a long and unexpected hiatus, your boys, Magos and the man formerly known as Techfree Steve, are back. Now you're Adam Jensen.
Yes. Yeah.
How's that been going?
Okay.
Alright then. Yeah. It's it was somewhat confusing and really fucks up the branding to some degree to see the guy that's made all, you know, the 40k comments in my section is just Adam Jensen now, and your channel is full of weird memes, but that's fine. That's okay.
Top tier memes.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to link your channel in the description now that there's actual stuff on it, and
I mean, before there was that seal video, which was pretty good.
there was a seal video, which is that still available? Can people still watch the seal video?
People can still watch that. I wouldn't get rid of that. Why would I get rid of that?
I don't know. I thought maybe that might have been off-brand for the new Adam Jensen arc for you, but
I don't know. Like sometimes I put Metal Gear stuff. Sometimes I don't. That's how it goes.
Yeah. I mean this.
It's a wild ride on my channel. You click on it, you don't know what you're gonna get. You know.
Yeah. It's something. I'd recommend looking into it. It's a time. But yeah, Nobody's on the Noosphere. It's back. Your boys, we're back doing the best premiere fucking Warhammer 40k podcast on the internet.
Soft reboot podcast.
Yeah, it has been a while, and we're gonna get to that later. But should we get onto 40k first? Because it's been a while.
I love 40k, so please go on.
Yeah. You haven't done much with 40k, have you?
No.
No.
I thought the new Anime Codex was gonna set my world on fire. It was gonna reignite the flames of passion within my heart for those Robo Boys, but it didn't. It was mediocre.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. You can check out my videos, AdMech Codex Review, and A Question of Codexes and Care. If you want a little more on that, viewer, this is what I do now. This is what happens now in the soft reboot version. I'm going to show my own videos when we bring up relevant
okay.
topics.
Okay, well, I'm going to show my videos without relevant topics. You can go look up Deus Ex Meme Kind Divided Collector's Edition, the most viewed video on my channel, and you're going to have a great time. Trust me.
Yeah, that's one of the more complex editing jobs, isn't it? It's got stuff moving about on screen.
It does. It does.
It was a good time, but
It went through a couple of iterations. It wasn't originally the collector's edition, but
yeah,
you know.
40k. We need to talk about 40k. The viewers are clamoring to hear us talk about 40k. Damn it! No one cares.
At this
about
point,
memes.
how many have left?
All of them. All of them have left. They've all gone, but still.
Including us watching this back and potentially you editing this. You've already given up.
Fucking over. It depends on how much of that shitty pre-intro bit I decided. Fuck it, I'm gonna cut. Okay, no, 40k. Talk about what happened. 8th edition, whole bunch of shit. There's been codexes, there's been so many codexes. All the codexes. There was an Astra Militarum codex, there was an Eldar codex, now there's a Tyranid codex, Tyranid High Fleet rules. They've brought them in, now there's a bunch of new guys. There's like, there's fucking, there's an anti-chaos Tyranid hive. There's a hive that's white and green, and I forget their name, but they're camped out on a planet and they're building some big anti-psychic, anti-warp pillar of fuck chaos or something. There's all sorts of shit going on. Warhammer 40k, 8th edition, Dark Imperium, the future. Yeah. What do you think about that?
Seems pretty okay, I guess.
Yeah. What did we miss?
What do you think of it?
It's okay. It's decent. The codexes they're going through, you know, they're doing their thing.
Anti-chaos Tyranid sounds interesting.
Yeah, there's some development. It sort of looks like they're building up sort of a bit of a conflict there, which is cool. It's cool to have a bit of, you know, more overt infighting between. This isn't just another galaxy-ending threat. It's a galaxy-ending threat, but maybe, you know, maybe part of its intent is to get rid of this other one. You know, that's cool conflicts. Those aren't so explored. Okay, yeah.
A galaxy-ending threat taking on another galaxy-ending threat.
I mean, you know, it's mixing it up a bit. You spread it out. Yeah. You don't make it. You make it a little bit less Imperium-centric. Of everyone is here to fuck the Imperium. You know, build up those other conflicts. You know, there's other directions it can go. That's cool. I like that. Do you not like that?
I like that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's genuinely quite interesting.
You sound infused. You sound excited about it.
Yeah. Ooh, I'm ready to go. Ooh, 40k. Wow.
Do you have thoughts
I'm
about...
excited.
Okay, if you're not so excited about the new stuff, do you have thoughts about Necromunda coming back? That's the big news lately. They're bringing back Necromunda. Perhaps the most beloved...
I've heard that it's coming back.
Yeah,
that's all I've heard.
Perhaps the most beloved of specialist games. Necromunda is coming back. They've got a box set. I think the pre-orders come out like today. Later on, only we're recording at 1 AM right now. Let me do the classic trick of going to the New Zealand version of their website. Yeah, okay, on the New Zealand version of their website, you can pre-order Necromunda right now. And wow, look at all this stuff. So now I can go along through the website. So, you know, there's a bunch of new configurations of all the fucking terrain. They've got their new little boards. It's Necromunda Underhive, so it's more based on like a Zone Mortalis style map. but then you can get a little expansion book, and then it's all 3D and shit again, and it's based around the fucking Sector Mechanicus terrain, and it's got fucking it's got like doors and new stuff, and the two starter gangs are House Escher and House Goliath, and they've all been re fucking made in plastic models. They're all sort of kind of customizable a bit. They've got like retro las guns and fucking this fucking one's got a bolt gun with an underslung needle fucking gun pistol bit. Ooh, look at all that. Look at this new stuff. Boxed set. Board games. Yeah. Necromunda. What do you think about that?
Isn't there like a trench coat gang? That's a thing, right?
House Delacroix, or Delaque. Not quite sure. Delacroix, I think, or Delac. Yeah, they were like the sort of the hacker sneaky breaky gang who were maybe on the down low Gene Stealer cultists, and in a mark of subtlety that hasn't been seen in a long time since. It was such a subtle and down low thing that most of their players didn't realise there was meant to be an implication that these guys are all Gene Stealers. But yeah, they were a cool gang. Apparently they're going to be coming out with all the mainline house gangs pretty soon, over the next like few months, next year.
Aren't there also like KKK members?
Yeah, that's the Redemptionists, who were... They were sort of... Okay, so the way it worked back in old Necromunda, there were the main 6, I think, gangs. House Goliath, House Escher, House Delacroix, House Vansar, House Orlok, and House Cawdor. And House Cawdor was sort of the big religious fanatics one. But then there was also... They did extra sort of expansion gangs, and they were a bit more out there, and the Redemptionists were the ones sort of allied with House Cawdor, and they were holier than thou to the extreme of, if you don't believe in the Emperor hard enough and in the way we do, we're gonna burn you alive. And also some of our members are dressed up in KKK hoods. And they're a good time, and hopefully they'll be coming out with them eventually once they're through the mainline gangs, because that sort of line included the Enforcers, which I know a lot of people want sort of Arbeits models. That's been a long time fan favourite request sort of thing that we haven't seen since the last Necromunda in any large scale, other than a few like Forge World exclusive models. And fucking the Spire gangs, I'd be very interested to see what they do with them, because they were all like high-tech fucking stolen Tau tech gizmos and shit, going around with the super suits. One of them could fly, I remember. One of them was like a spider-based. You could shoot webs. One of them was punchy, I think. And there was your patriarch and matriarch of the gang you could bring in as special ones, and it just turned it into fucking Predator Underhive edition, and it was rad as fuck. Yeah.
Right.
So hopefully they'll do that. Also, apparently they're bringing out like mercenary models, which is cool as hell. I want there's going to be like a mercenary beastman. First of all, I want to see fucking Underhive fucking ratty ass tech priests. Give it to me. Give it. I want them. I want them. Make Underhive tech priests, please do it.
So have they released Fires of Syraxis yet?
No, they haven't. Forge World had a hard life. They've had a hard change into 8th edition. They had to update all of their models and lines that had 40k rules to have 8th edition rules. Ambly passed away, which is very sad. they're trying to rework 7th edition because they didn't want to update Horus Heresy, and it's not going well. They announced it, and then a week after, on the release date, they said, "Never mind, it's not coming today. It's coming later." We don't know when that rulebook's coming out. You still can't buy a 7th edition rulebook for which Horus Heresy is based upon, but that's fine. It's okay.
So catch me up. Is Duncan still employed by Games Workshop?
Yeah, Duncan's still employed. He still does memes.
Okay,
He's still a meme man.
that's okay.
There was a new meme video just yesterday, where apparently they're bringing in a new painter that isn't the lady who they had on for a bit during some of the Christmas stuff. There's another new painter who's going to be like a regular one, and they did a joke video where they pretended that it was him all along, like behind off camera with his arm shot so it looked like it was Duncan's. It was a very funny video. It made me go, haha, clever.
I've unsubscribed from the Warhammer channel, so I wouldn't know.
Really? Okay. Of course you have. That's fine. That's okay. Yeah, Warhammer. Do you like Warhammer?
Yeah.
Remember Warhammer, guys? Warhammer 40k.
Do you remember wrestling?
No. No, I don't. I don't want to.
Me neither.
It's all... yeah.
Remember we used to have a segment. It's lost now.
That segment ended last episode, right? That was the thing. You'd already...
Did it, or did it end the one before? Did it? Maybe.
Let me check. Let me have a look. I'll go through. I'll go through the archives.
Yeah. Have a look.
And see about... Yeah, this is good radio. You've got to keep saying stuff. You've got to keep up the pace. You've got to keep the words going. Yeah, Chief Wrestle Boy weighs out.
Yeah,
1
okay.
hour, 2 minutes and 2 seconds in. To Nobodies on the Noosphere episode 2, Not My Fabricated General. The least viewed episode by like 100 views. Yeah.
I mean, it was wrestling, then it was 40k. It was really should have seen this coming.
I mean, I still like 40k. But,
That's true. But I mean, I was saying, like, for me, 'cause,
yeah.
you used to have some interest in wrestling, mainly because I used to talk to you about it a lot.
Yeah, well, you were the medium through which I consumed wrestling, because I'm a busy, crazy person who doesn't have time to consume cool things that I like, and instead makes podcasts. But yeah, that was
So
history of
is
it.
this going to be the least viewed one? Yes.
Probably. I mean, maybe it'll have a pop because I've got quite a few more subscribers over the last 3 months, so maybe people will see this and click on it just out of interest. It's possible.
They'll click on it without even understanding the deep lore of Nobodies on the Noosphere. It's like poetry at rhymes.
Does it?
They have to look at...
Is there any poetry? Is there any thematic sort of through line to it? I mean, there's continuity to some extent, but yeah.
Maybe we've just been wasting our time.
Maybe. Are we done with 40k now? Are we moving on to the next segment?
I don't know. This is your podcast. You're the host.
Yeah, but you're the co-host, and this is sort of your vehicle on the channel. So, okay, sure, yeah, let's go on to the next segment. Let's talk a little bit about why that whole hiatus happened, because, yeah, it sort of does stem from you've been losing interest in 40k, and through that you sort of lost contact with me entirely for the last 3 months.
Yeah, I mean, you were saying before about how I was a vessel for wrestling. You 40k was kind of my vessel for you.
Hmm.
And I even talked about this before, how, my interests changed quite a bit,
Yeah.
and I tend to lose internet friends just because when the interest's not there, you just kind of drift apart, and it happened. I was right.
Yeah. And then no podcast came, and people
Mm.
presumably cared. But,
We've talked about it before. Um, like this episode 3 was going to happen like 2 months ago.
yeah, I guess
Uh,
we should talk about that because we did plan out an episode 3 2 months ago, but you weren't into it.
like it was shit. Like the topics weren't there. It was going to be like a really short episode. It just wasn't. There was like a couple good ideas in it,
I
but
mean,
those were only good ideas over a larger scope of what this podcast could have been.
okay, yeah. Uh, I mean, we have. I still have the text file of the skeleton to it, and it was gonna be a little more freeform than any of the others. There wasn't so much to talk about, but these podcasts tend to run for a while, so I didn't think that would necessarily be a problem. But yeah, you very much.
I mean, like like shorter than what I would deem acceptable. Like there was no real meat to the podcast. It was just kind of just fluff.
Okay, I mean, what do you consider sort of an acceptable length and content amount in a Nobodies on the Noosphere episode? Because they tend to go for like
I
2
probably
hours.
could have answered your question 2 months ago, but
Alright.
it's been a while since I've even thought about this podcast. So
Oh, okay then.
I just like there to be topics that we can actually discuss, rather than it just being one of us talking about something for an extended period of time and the other member being quite silent.
I mean, that's fair. That's, yeah, I guess you do want a bit more dialogue than you tend to develop in that, but, yeah. Yeah. So how's your life been going, I guess, for the past few months? How have you been holding up as far as that goes?
Uh, mm, uh, mm, uh, a good to okay to not great. There was a definite, there was a chasm that I entered. There was a real low point, uh, like a real low point. But now I'm like, I'm okay. I'm okay now, I guess. It's
Okay,
like,
that's good.
I came,
Yeah.
it was okay.
Yeah,
Have you been?
Okay, I guess we could talk a little bit about the background to this, because the reason we've gotten back in contact was I commented on one of your videos where you brought in a little bit of 40k into it, and I made a little meme comment, and
Oh yeah, go watch the Male Fantasy colon or 40k or Warhammer 40k, something like that. Something like that.
And then you got in contact with me over Discord again, I think, and
Yeah.
and we decided to do this, and we've been talking a bit over the past week, but with the way my life is, my sleep cycle has been sleeping from 5 p.m. to various times in the morning, at the end there for like 11 hours, and so we haven't been able to talk. This is our first time talking on voice since I think the attempt at the first attempt at episode 3. But
I looked back at what I said, and I messaged you large tonk, and then you said huge, and then I said very big, and then you said gigantic.
yeah,
Then I said massive. That was good.
because the comment I left was like big tonk in reference to the Baneblade. which was the meme of the video. Spoilers.
You
Sorry.
you fucking spoiled it. You fucking. I can't believe this.
It's a 20-second video. It's a 20-second video in the format of another 4 videos on your channel. But yeah, sorry. So yeah, but to set up for today, I slept for 3 hours over the last 6 hours to wake up at midnight, and you know, that is what it is. My body is not okay. It's not great. Most of my cells want to die. Some of them are very awake and energized, and all of them want to vomit a lot. But
You sound like a broken man.
no, it's okay. I make Warhammer YouTube videos and die a lot. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to get into sort of real life stuff too much, just to, keep the fun to the podcast going. But that's been not ideal. But it's okay. It's okay. Everything's okay. It's the weekend now. It's the weekend. We're recording this on it's 1:15 a.m. Saturday.
Oh, it's Saturday. I thought it was like Wednesday today.
No, Saturday, and so I'm gonna try and have a productive weekend, and it's gonna be okay.
Your leg, is it okay though?
Oh yeah, that's current law. My knee has been fucked for the last 2 years to varying extents, and over the past few days it's been real bad, real not great. Probably should seek out medical attention, see a doctor about that. But
I mean, I know you. You're just gonna drink a lot of alcohol, and that's what you're gonna.
I mean, theoretically,
solve the problem.
can one be an alcoholic on the last 15th of a bottle of hard liquor? Is that really possible?
I'd have to check with my rabbi on that one.
Right then. Yeah. It's it's a tough.
Start drinking more water, because usually I just have Pepsi. No, water. I've been drinking water because ran out of soft drinks, ran out of drinks, and then I got used to water.
Water's pretty good.
It is. Water's okay. I didn't, I think 'cause at first I was expecting there to be flavour there, but now I'm used to an absence of flavour.
Yeah. It's
Do you remember? I feel like when we were planning out episode 1 specifically, there was somewhat of an enthusiasm for this podcast of what it could be. Just plans for the future for it. I mean, the kind of running the running joke was, oh, it's shit. But before, there was at least an amount of positivity.
It was a self-deprecative joke that sort of was there to some extent to deflect criticism, but yeah.
Also, yeah, it's weird. Now it's just I don't know. Creating the skeleton for this episode was what do we even talk about? I mean, the topics aren't as interesting as they once were. Like there's not as much. Like there used to be a bit of internal memery going on with the like me being annoyed with the crow masticators. That was a thing that was going to happen. I had a whole plan for that where I was going to recreate Scott Steiner's mathematics promo, but against the crow masticators. That was going to be good.
You could
That
still
was going to be a good
you
thing.
could still do that. That sounds hilarious.
It's over now. It's
Oh,
over now.
okay.
It's done. That's done. Like, what even is the crow masticators anymore?
I mean, that's a fair point.
What is
They
it?
They haven't
Did you even
produced
do an
anything.
episode? I haven't looked at that channel in ages.
I mean, I did the pilot of a two-man cast of Weeb Trash Productions. He's a cool guy.
That sounds like the worst thing ever.
Okay, do you know Weeb Trash? Have you consumed any of Weeb's content? Do you know,
Is he the guy who did that video about me, or was that a different?
No,
Is that a different boy?
he hasn't done a video about you. That was,
No.
DZ
Who was the guy who did that video about me?
That was DZ Dog, who's a friend of Outlaw. But,
Right.
yeah. Yeah.
Like, just look at the Willem Dafoe movie pictures. Like, it reached an apex in episode 1, then it went downhill very quickly.
What was episode 1 of the movie pitch again?
Well, the first one was he was like a gold man. He was like a gold man,
Was that the pilot
and Brendan
one?
Fraser tried to stop him. That was I know that was the pilot,
Yeah.
but I'm just like listing them.
Yeah, okay.
Then episode 1 was I remember episode 2 was the piss one, the apple juice one.
Yeah. Was it? Or was it episode 1?
Was it episode 1 that was the apple juice one?
I think...
So I think the pilot might have actually been the apex of movie pictures.
Yeah. What was episode 2's one? Because the apple juice one was like it was the Silent Hill vibes into apple juice at the end.
Yeah. And there was like a camera that showed apple juice coming out of
Yeah.
Brendan Fraser's penis. Or was it Willem Dafoe's?
One of the two. One of the two. Really, who can
A
tell the
50-50
difference between the
chance, really.
blinding light of their massive stardom?
That was a good one. I liked that bit. That was a good bit you just did there.
That was a good joke.
I
That was a
liked
good joke.
So what was episode 1?
1 second. You keep on. You
I'm just-
entertain the fucking listeners for a few minutes while I listen back to the thing to see if I can find this.
I think a pretty good video of mine is a video called "Wipe This Meme from the Face of the Earth." I think it's pretty good. I think it's okay. It's one of my favorites, and no one watched it. Like it's I don't want to big it up or anything, but it's probably the perfect meme video ever made. Who's I feel like an underappreciated artiste for my craft. You know, Magos, you can really sleep well at night knowing that you inspired me to make such great meme videos, because without you I would have never done it.
Oh, that's good. Sorry, I'm listening to fucking. This is very confusing. I'm listening to me and you while you speak in the background. Oh god. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Episode 2 was the meta one. It was the one where it's like it's that people going into a movie theater and like we did a bit where we described a listener of Nobodies on the Noosphere as like a horrible monster.
Oh yeah, that was a good bit. That was a legitimately good bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Episode 2 had some promising things in it.
Yeah. And episode 1, I remember, I'm going to contest that episode 1 was actually ever good. because I remember episode 1 was the one that got fucked up because like someone walked into the room I was recording in for like the last 5 or 10 minutes of it, and I had to.
The thing is, episode 1 had the bit where I went on a rant about the person who pushed my tech priest Dominus off a table,
Yeah,
and I think that was legitimately pretty good.
it was okay.
I think the title was also probably the best. Was episode 2 the one where you reviewed Stalker?
One second. Let me have a look. Let me go check. Yeah, that was the last segment.
This is like a Nobodies on the Noosphere retrospective.
Yeah, this is the fucking clip show. This is the clip show where we look back for how long the story is to me. We talk about the highlight reel.
So I think episode 1's probably the best because it had the wrestling segment. It had the bit where you talked about that AdMech audiobook. It was I think everything came together just right on that episode. Whereas I think after that it went quickly downhill as I stopped watching wrestling and there were no AdMech audiobooks.
Yeah, I mean, it was the longest one at 2 hours and 21 minutes. It was a very long podcast, but that's okay. It's okay. That's allowed. The law doesn't stop that. Yeah,
it probably should, but
I mean,
it doesn't.
You seem to be, supportive of the long length. You always, seem resistant when I try to make things a little bit more, not monstrously large. But
I think episode 1 was large, but it was also compact. I don't think there wasn't that much dead air. There was the charisma flying all over the place. I believe it was
Okay.
Was episode 1 the introduction of Vox Skull, or was that episode 2?
I believe that was episode 2.
Right, because Vox Skull's dead now, and he was the glue that held it together. And once he died, it all fell apart.
Yeah, he was good held together for that one episode, and then failed to hold it together for our first attempt at this episode 2 months ago. And now he's dead.
Yeah, it's really quite symbolic, I think,
Yeah.
of this podcast.
Yeah. And it's okay. It's a very strange sort of podcast at this point, because there's this level.
It is, because it's not. It's a podcast about our previous podcasts.
I mean that too,
And
but
also,
I mean even right now there's this level of weird insincerity going on, and it's hard to tell just how much this is an act, because I know there's some deviation from how we were talking about this before the fact. It's very interesting. I mean, I'm doing this as I'm building up the meta here by bringing attention to the fact that there is a level of, not quite honesty going on, and it's all strange because I wasn't told about this before the fact. I've been blindsided by this, so I don't quite know what's real and what isn't.
It was all the
real.
meme, guys. We've actually been talking this whole time. We just wanted to drum up anticipation.
I mean, that's not true. That's
It was all the meme, and you fell right into it. And now Magos is lying about it.
But it's a strange minefield. I've really been thrown off kilter. You've really knocked me off my game, Adam Jensen.
I'm not
Deus
like
Ex.
trying to do it too intentionally. It's I'm being a bit more. I'm acting a bit more depressed.
That's fair.
I think
That's fair.
that's a fair thing.
Yeah, I get.
I mean,
this
like the thing is that
negativity.
the joke is that I've completely gotten out of 40k and it just doesn't matter to me, and that's not necessarily true. The truth is that like I don't dislike it. It just I still keep up with some news.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
just if there's any AdMech things. But
because here's the thing. Like, I was expecting sort of because the idea of this segment was we get a little bit down, we get a little bit real. But yeah, there's the thing. I expected it to be a bit more real. It's like we stopped talking about 40k, stopped talking about this. We talk about how things haven't been be so great, and it's a bit dark and depressing.
The
Then
thing
you
is that
start
I
talking,
quickly realised I am completely unwilling to share
which is fair.
like
Which is very fair. That was something we probably should have discussed before the fact. I had planned to, but then
I mean,
the whole dead.
I don't think you're totally willing either.
I
I
mean,
mean, there's when we talk with each other, there's a definite abstraction from what we're willing to share about our real lives.
mm,
Like
yeah.
you can say everything's collapsing, but you never give specifics. Just like I'd never give specifics.
I mean, that's fair.
Like just kind of it.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, well, the thing with me, of course, is there's a level of obfuscation by necessity.
Yeah.
Because
I mean,
as the creature I am on the internet, there's, my real name isn't publicly available.
you have to obscure some. You have to obscure some things to make what your channel is work. Because you want to keep some things about who you really are obscured. That's acceptable.
Yeah, it's but I don't know. I was expecting there to be, still, despite that, I was expecting there to be a level of abstracted version of that. Talk about it in vague terms, but you decided to go the other direction of it, play a strange character that has sort of different opinions, and it's interesting. It's an interesting bit. I applaud you for it.
Do you know what's even more interesting is that I'm maybe not doing that intentionally.
All right.
I think it might just be that I'm doing it subconsciously.
Okay. Yeah.
I've noticed that when I talk with people, when I talk with you, when I talk with someone else, my personality completely changes. Subconsciously, it's not like I can intentionally change myself as much as I do. Like fuck. That's okay. My computer just went to sleep mode. I'm okay.
Okay. Okay.
But like my personality, my speech patterns will sometimes change, and that's a weird thing because I don't have a good grasp on who I am as a person because I'm just it's a bit of a overstatement, but I'm just kind of the people around me. I'm the people I talk to. I'm the people
You are a performative reflection.
Yeah, and that's not maybe who I want to be, but it's who I am. And coming to terms with that is a difficult thing.
It's strange. Breaking out of that sort of pattern can be hard, but yeah, identity is a strange thing, and a very heady topic for Nobodies on the Noosphere, episode 3, the Warhammer 40k podcast, where we talk about Games Workshop, miniatures, and games.
Yeah, we talk about 40k, Warhammer 40k, set in the 41st millennium.
It
has
an extra 100 years of continuity, or 200 years after the Dark Imperium event, Indomitus Crusade, and all that.
Yeah, it has the heroic space marines battling against the evil forces of chaos, and the Xenos races.
The perfidious Xenos. Yeah.
There's the Admech. Don't know if you've heard of them, but they're basically the engineers of the Imperium. I really don't know why they got their own army. It's pretty.
Yeah. I mean, they're like the toast meme guys, right? That's what they do, isn't it?
That's what I've seen. If the Emperor takes a speech.
Yeah.
I've seen 40k theories. That was a bit, wasn't it? That was a bit. That was a good bit. Was ragging on 40k theories.
Yeah, I remember we sort of tried to abstract it of the whole. I have legitimate anger towards a number of the successful Warhammer 40k YouTubers that is.
And then I'd always
primarily
say,
run from jealousy.
but did the Iron Warriors have Necrons on their home planet?
Oh yeah.
That was something I'd always say. I remember distinctly saying that repeatedly.
That was the bit used to mock 40k theories. Subtly. Yeah.
It's like a butterfly's wing. It's like a subtle brush stroke on the canvas of this podcast.
Like a subtle thin coat on a Warhammer 40k miniature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drink your paint water.
Painting jokes. That's what we're doing
Yeah,
now.
I've moved house and I don't have any 40k things in this house.
Oh,
They're
okay.
still the last one.
Oh, all right. That's
Uh,
good. That's exciting. OIP.
mm,
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Warhammer podcast. Warhammer podcast.
wow, a podcast.
I feel like the people like it. It's should we move on? Should we go on to the next topic? Should we go on to the next bit? Or
Do you have any more stuff to say in the depression cast topic?
oh wow, oh wow, oh wow! You just took it to a new level there of breaking the conventions of meta by name mentioning the listing I have of this section in the notes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. This is a horrible bit. This is a horrible.
This is a really
uncomfortable
this is a
podcast,
like
isn't it?
legitimately unlistenable bit.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, I kind of like it.
Like
'cause
like a who the fuck would care about our problems?
it's
Let's be real here.
It's interesting because this reminds me of bad podcasts I've been on, but this is artificially bad. Those were accidentally bad because we didn't have anything to talk about. It ran out. There was or things conspired, but so the chemistry just wasn't there. But this has been this is different to that. This is wholly unique because this is artificially that. This is a synthetically awful podcast. We've taken the meme of Nobodies on the Noosphere to the next level by actively conspiring to make it a legitimately, actually, really bad, not good, terrible this time podcast.
I mean, you know, I in the 40k section, I probably could have given some legitimate opinions.
You could have.
That's not. I mean, it's all a character, right? I'm playing the character of Tech Priest Steve on Adam Jensen, with the joke being, I don't care about 40k. That, you know, that's just. Is the humour of this podcast going to be the anti-humour of it being legitimately unlistenable, and any potential chemistry that was there between that was there
Possibly.
is gone.
I mean, there were elements of that. There are elements of pretty good, sort of like that awkward sort of chemistry. It sort of there was a feeling of that cringe humor to it, but then it went even more meta, and now it's just totally like it's commenting on itself. We're in the podcast commenting on previous parts of the podcast and reviewing how they were meta and strange and don't quite line up. It's all very
We're both commenting on how I played a character, but maybe I'm still playing a character, and but
Yeah.
maybe the character isn't a character at all, and it's just my subconscious doing weird things.
It's strange. It's strange when you get into a place where you're playing a character who can break character as his character. It's odd.
Yeah.
But that's fine. That's okay. This is a podcast. I want to talk about video games. What about video games?
This is craziness. How did this happen? How did this happen?
A 3-month hiatus, a lot of not good real shit going on in both of our lives, and the 3 hours of sleep over the course of 6 hours.
You know, I thought the podcast was not too bad. A couple episodes ago, I thought there was promise there. You know, there was things that could be done. There was little narrative hooks that we could throw in there. That's all out the window now. Time has torn this podcast asunder.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's not great. I guess a lot of sort of because there was a built-up level of internal consistency to it where it was in its own sort of character, but that's been shattered now. But you know.
We're at the point where we're acknowledging the notes, the skeleton of the podcast. We're self-examining what this podcast is, and
Yeah,
that's
I don't know.
it's going to be hard to come back from this. Well, it might be a good bit if next episode it's back to normal.
That would be hilarious if it was just totally upbeat and good and swell again. That would be a great bit. Come back, episode 4, where it's actually good again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get ready.
Skip this one. Feel free to
We've been
click
going
out
for
now,
like
this doesn't get
52
better.
minutes here.
Yeah. You may have noticed I've been willing to push it on to the next one, but we've kept going on the depression into accidentally metacast. I mean, you mentioned that. I don't know how much you want to talk about. You mentioned, that the after the events of the aborted attempt at track 3, the first go around, that kind of messed you up a bit. So, yeah, it's all.
I had a near mental breakdown on Voxnet, just like decrying the state of the podcast. That was no good.
Yeah.
No good, bad podcast.
Very bad, not good podcast. You want to talk about video games? You like video games still, right?
Video games are good. I like them.
Yeah, talk about video games. You've played a bunch of video games in this time. Talk about video games that you like. Let's bring this back. Let's bring it back from far past the brink.
So what you're
see if we
really
can
trying to
salvage
say is
something.
talk about Wolfenstein 2 because that's what you have on your notes and that's what we discussed beforehand.
I mean, I've also got Prey. It's Prey / Wolfenstein. Whatever you want. If you want to talk about something else,
okay.
if you want to talk about MGS or Deus Ex, your meme games, do that. Whatever. I don't mind. Talk about what you want to talk about. Podcast.
So I bought Wolfenstein 2 because there was a lot of chatter on everyone's favourite board /V. There was a lot of people saying it was an SJW game. There was a clear SJW influence on there because there was a black character.
I know there
a
was
female black character with an afro.
There was some contention about. I know a marketing slogan used was "Make America Nazi Free Again," which seemed a bit uncomfortably politicized.
I didn't actually know about that.
Yeah, I know that was the one.
I'm guessing that it was just the marketing.
Yeah, it was entirely
because-
just the marketing, but I know that threw me off a little bit. I put a bit of a sour taste of what you're doing is kind of Yeah, you want to do that? Okay, sure.
Blame Toddy boy.
Yeah, that was Todd Howard's doing.
Yeah. Those good boys at Machine Games, they wouldn't do that.
Didn't
to
do
us.
nothing. No. God,
Didn't
it's
do
going a bit too far. Yeah. So.
Oh
Go
no!
on, say.
This is end the podcast now. Scrap it.
This is when Nobodies on the Noosphere
that-
becomes a left versus right fucking politicized argument.
It'll be a legitimately good bit if we just ended the podcast now.
That would be pretty funny, but I mean, it's this would be the shortest by a pretty big margin, so probably shouldn't do that.
Yeah. But most of the things like the screenshots, the dialogue I saw, it was all just completely taken out of the wider context. So one of them, for instance, shows BJ Blazkowicz saying like, "You dumb white Nazi sons of bitches" or something like that. But he was just making fun of the black character, which was a very right wing because you're making fun of a black woman. Oh my god. Everyone made a big thing about you being a communist faction. You're not. There's a communist character in the game. The faction you fight for has no ideology. Its ideology is anti-Nazi, but not necessarily communist. There's a communist character, and he's made fun of for being a communist. He's like him being a communist is not shown to be a good thing. Like,
That's fair.
like people could have just done a bit of research on this, but no, they just wanted to play into the narrative that they've set up,
Yeah.
or they're just being ironic, which is totally possible.
Yeah, and there's a level of, the marketing didn't necessarily help with this. That is an important thing to take in mind, which is, it seems like...
I never actually looked at the marketing, so I guess I just went in.
That's probably the best way to
untainted.
do it. Like, from all I've heard, I haven't played the game, but from all I've heard, it seems like the game itself is pretty inoffensive, but the marketing sort of made it. They brought about this idea of a conflict, and people who didn't play the game and saw the
The
marketing...
thing is, though,
they're
that's
fighting for the marketing.
Bethesda, though. That's not
Yeah.
Machine Games.
Which is kind of a shame. It's people don't realize how important marketing is. I mean, it's pretty good marketing, I suppose. And as far as actually getting attention, if you're going to create a big insufferable social media fight about it all, then I guess that's mechanically effective if soulless and actively degrades human culture. But that's fine. Thanks, Todd Howard. Thanks for making society worse.
Thanks, Toddy boy. There was a pretty good meme I saw which had Todd Howard's face on the milkshake Nazi. In the game. I think I sent you that one.
Yeah,
you should probably put that on the screen right now.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. I'll look into that.
Yeah, I'll send it to you again after we finish this call, just so you know you have it fresh.
Cool. Yeah.
But the gameplay is really good. I play on the hardest difficulty. There were some times where I could, even on full health, I would just be one shot through like undodgeable attacks, or just like hit scan weapons, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I recall
but
that being
I guess I kind of signed up for it because I was playing on the hardest difficulty. So.
Yeah, I recall that being a bit of an issue in the last game, a bit spiky in as far as difficulty curve goes.
One of the interesting things I found was that of the couple wide open areas they are the hardest areas in the game, because in the close areas you can just use the shotgun to take out everyone before they can even get a shot off, but in wide open areas you have like snipers and they can just kill you in a couple hits. The gameplay is really fun though. You can dual wield any two weapons. In my opinion, it's much better than the New Order. It has, and the Old Blood. You have these augmentations. So you can constrict your chest so you can fit into smaller places. You have Inspector Gadget extendo legs, so you can flank people by going over their cover. And you have ramshackles, which you just ram into Nazis and they explode, and that's okay.
It's fun.
I've seen some people saying the gunplay isn't that good. I disagree. Like, all the weapons have a real heavy, industrial, meaty feel to them. The recoil is nice. It's a good video game. I enjoyed it. People have been saying it's like 4 hours long. It took me about 14 hours to beat
Pretty good.
the main game. Yeah. And there's sort of side quests you can do where you go and kill a Nazi leader. So yeah, about 14, 15 hours. There's been so much hoo-ha around the game that's just completely not true.
No. That's fair.
It's interesting, I feel.
Sounds like a good game.
How much people jumped on it, and most of the criticisms are just untrue. Just because I think people just kind of wind themselves up with this stuff where the image of the game in their head is completely different to the game in reality.
Yeah. And again, the marketing may be to some extent to blame for that, and it's of course it's a bit of a, there's elements of touches. We won't get into this. Let's try not to politicize the Nobodies on the Noosphere podcast in any direction. But
I've also been playing Prey.
You want to talk about Prey?
I'll talk about Prey. I'll be quick.
Okay.
Prey from Arcane Studios with who's it written by? Fuck, it was written by a good bloke. That's not it. Where is it? Give me a minute.
I know
Fill the data.
there's a little bit of controversy over this because it isn't really. It shares the name with another Prey, but it isn't a sequel to that in any
Yeah,
way at
okay.
all.
Written by Chris Avalon,
Oh yeah.
writer of Fallout 2 and
Hmm.
General Good Boy. Currently working on the remake of System Shock. He's like top tier good boy.
Yes.
Did writing on New Vegas.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the Prey 1 was about a Native American who shot up aliens. Prey 2 is about an Asian who shoots up aliens. I don't know. Do you? I don't know. Or half Asian American, I guess.
Yeah.
Prey is a very good immersive sim. It has the typical balance problems that most immersive sims do. It has a fairly good kind of moral system, in that it's kind of in the background, kind of like Dishonored. There's not that many guns, but the ones that are there feel really chunky and nice, especially the shotgun, which is very satisfying to use, especially when fully upgraded. The story and the characters, they're written superbly. Like nearly like even just like the smaller characters, they're given their own stories, their own personalities, their own endings a lot of the time. And that's not something you see a lot. Even like Talos 1 is probably the best hub world I've ever seen. Which was quite surprising because I thought Prague from Mankind Divided was very good because it had a lot of detail. But Talos 1 has like it's a bit hyperbolic, but like 10 times the detail of Prague.
I know it got a lot of attention. It's got a very strong, unique art style going to it. Very much the Art Deco sort of thing going on.
Yeah, which kind of fits into the narrative of the kind of egotism of like they're studying these creatures, these very dangerous creatures, and they just think it's going to go fine. One thing which always throws me off is that a lot of the art you find in the game, like posters or whatever, they're all done by the same artist who does the art for Dishonored and Dishonored 2. So whenever I just see like there's like a portrait of Morgan Yu's family, and it just looks like Dishonored.
Yeah, I
Because it's
know
in that same art style.
that was a thing a lot of people talked about. Of all, the environments and most of the rest of the game take more of a realistic tone, if very much in the stylized architecture, but visually itself is pretty realistic. But the character models, they all look very similar to the Dishonored characters in that they're all sort of cartoony, exaggerated, big hands, big sort of exaggerated
I don't think
faces.
it's quite as cartoony as Dishonored.
Not as much, but it more so than reality, and much more so than the rest of the game, which takes more of a photorealistic sort of vibe going on. Whereas Dishonored's got the painterly thing sort of.
I mean,
is there
photorealistic
throughout.
of extremely Art Deco stylized.
Yeah, exactly. Like in universe, it's something different, but that's if you get what I'm saying. Mechanically, like the textures are done to look like a thing that would exist in the real world.
The game really slows. Doesn't slow down. It just gets kind of unfun through the last, I guess, like 10th of the game, because mostly then you're just dealing with operators, which are like robots, and by far and away the best way to deal with them is to throw an EMP grenade, then just hack them. But the hacking minigame isn't particularly fun, so it's just kind of time-consuming and boring, in a way that fighting the Typhon or the alien enemies isn't. People have been saying the combat's a bit simplistic. I honestly have had enough fun with it through like turret tactics, like placing a turret, sneak attacking a guy, then running back around the corner. The turret pulls aggro, then you can just kill the alien from that point. Or like transforming yourself into a coffee mug so you can sneak across an area. That's fun. One quite nice thing is the glue gun, which is a gun that fires out like pellets of glue that you can use to trap enemies and climb around Talos 1.
Yeah, I had a lot of got a lot of attention for sort of that the sandbox kind of mechanics that people are very much attracted to. It's cool.
Yeah, yeah. There's the environment's so nice. Nearly every room has rafters that you can explore, and most of the time there's nothing there. But sometimes there is something there, which means you'll always go look at the rafters. Um,
Hmm, very cool.
it's a good video game. I would heartily recommend it. I actually finished it earlier today, and it was a good time. It took me about. Let me have a look at my Steam library here. So if you want to, there's actually a free demo on Steam which runs for about 3 hours, which is pretty generous as demos go. Um, so all in all, it took me about 22 hours to beat, which is pretty
Hmm,
decent.
that's good. Yeah. Wow. What a video game.
I mean, there's a good lineage there. Arcane is consistently putting out very good games.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully,
Why does Bethesda have to publish good games? I don't stop. I mean, I guess I'd prefer Bethesda over EA or Ubisoft, but
Hmm.
yeah.
They're they're not they're not as good as they used to be. They're becoming a bit iffy these days. But yeah.
Apparently, The Evil Within 2 is meant to be good, which is another Bethesda published game.
Yeah, I heard it actually. That's people seem to be liking that. I hope it does decently well because I know the first one didn't wasn't received so great, but
The first one had very, very interesting ideas that weren't capitalized upon, because eventually it just became a game with turret segments, and that's no good.
yeah. But I want the best of this because survival horror games are being killed off quite quickly, and I mean Resident Evil's doing okay, and that's about it. But and the NDC and stuff, of course. But
Yeah, I mean, it's easier to make just horror games than survival horror games, because it's a lot easier to make it so you can run and hide and not fight back.
mm,
You know,
yeah,
like your typical Outlast is, I'm assuming, more easy to make than
yeah,
RE7.
probably, yeah. It's but yeah, that's hopefully that does okay. Hopefully all the survival horror games are good. Save
Oh yeah,
Silent Hill.
in Prey, some of the music is really good. A lot of the music's done by Mick Gordon. Uh, the thing is, he also did the music for Wolfenstein 2, and I don't think he has as much passion for Prey or Wolfenstein as much as Doom, because like nearly every track in Doom was fantastic, but it's a bit spotty on Prey and Wolfenstein.
Yeah, I know. There was a lot of critical acclaim for a new Doom soundtrack that was well loved, but yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm glad the guy's getting work, but
Yeah, he's just getting all the work that everything that Bethesda publishes is in some way related to Mick Gordon. it's
yeah,
it's it's cr- it's mm. one
right.
one nice thing is one nice thing about Bethesda is they put, I think at least they did it for Doom and for some of the tracks in Prey. They put a lot of the original scores up on their YouTube channel,
Oh, that's
which
cool.
is
That's always
nice.
yeah, it's convenient. Yeah, yeah, that's well. Right then, should I talk about Hollow Knight a little bit? I think I should do.
Sorry?
Should I talk about Hollow Knight? Should we go on
Sure,
to
go
that?
ahead.
Alright then, I've been playing Hollow Knight recently, a game that released like to the start of this year, and nobody cares about anymore. But it's the best. It's real damn good. It's been scratching a little bit of that Dark Souls itch. Of course, Dark Souls is three-dimensional Metroidvania. Hollow Knight, it's very Metroidvania. It's of course 2D. It's got that cutesy art style. It's all bugs. I love bugs. I feel kinship with bugs because I am a rotting corpse surrounded by and full of bugs eating me alive. Oh god, help. Let me out. It's
You really
great.
haven't made enough corpse noises this episode. You said you were gonna make more, but you didn't.
Yeah, I
Come on,
mean,
corpse noise.
Oh, here's the thing. Okay, delay the Hollow Knight talk. We'll get back to that. This is the main issue with you playing this character, because I thought this was going to be more real, but you went to play the character, so I was forced to sort of play the straight man to it. And the straight man can't be making corpse noises while trying to keep the ball rolling.
Come
This is
on,
the
come on,
problem.
man.
This is
Get
the
your
problem.
corpse noise act together. No excuses.
Okay, so Hollow Knight. The bosses are good. All the character designs. The character designs are so fucking great. I love bugs. I love insects. The mask maker is the coolest guy. It's bugs wearing masks. This is the Magos aesthetic. It's perfect. It's brilliant. It's the best. There's all great enemies. There's all great environments. It's also interesting. You get your character progression. You gotta find this stuff. It's Metroidvania. There's bugs. You dash. You get the dash. You get a wall jump from mantises. You get a double jump from someone. Forgot who. Mothwing. Yeah, something like that. Oof. There's ghosts. You can talk to the ghosts.
Are there skeletons?
There are dead bugs. Animated by infection. I mean, they're bugs, so they don't really have... They have exoskeletons. You could argue that, the infected guys are, in a sense, skeletons. In that all of them are... All you're seeing are the skeletons, because they're bugs. They have exoskeletons. You know?
Okay,
You know what I'm
I
saying?
understand.
It's small. Small game. It's bug scale.
Have you beaten it?
No, I haven't yet, and I may not, because while playing it, I realised, oh god, I'm a broken fucking rotten corpse. This is where the corpse noises come in. This is my segue into corpse noises.
That was pretty.
Right
That was a good. That was a good one. I don't want you to edit that at all in post processing. I want you just to leave it for its full its natural volume.
Okay, that's
No sparing the listeners on this one.
all right then. Yeah. What was I even fucking saying? Corpse.
You said you were a broken man.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And you probably
Fucking
won't
broken
finish it.
corpse and playing video games is temporarily satisfying, but it doesn't result in content. And I don't want to film myself playing Hollow Knight necessarily, because I'm playing it on mouse and keyboard, so kind of handicapped and kind of suck. It's very much intended for controller play. And I kind of want to give it a full playthrough before doing anything recording of it. And so I just know my way around it all. But that means I'm not making any content while playing Hollow Knight, and that means it's a hollow, empty experience, which is soul crushing.
Ooh,
Yeah, fucking thematic.
what a not a segue, but a connection.
Yeah, I am
Hollow.
the hollow man.
You are the hollow bug man.
mm,
Hollow bug boy.
yeah, that one. I fucking. I got my fucking knee. Yeah.
Is your knee in an incredible amount of paint?
Yeah, you're the first guy who noticed that. I didn't notice that for a few days. I tweeted out my knees in an incredible amount of paint. I thought I meant to say pain, but yeah. No.
Like that's like the T is a ways away from the N and both the L. It's quite impressive.
Well, I'm assuming it's more like a muscle memory thing rather than a mistype thing of like it's.
That's fair.
Yeah,
That's fair.
it's because I am apparently a Warhammer guy, so I'm more like there's a decent amount of like that I'll be typing paint, so it's just a case of not looking at the
Yeah.
keyboard.
If you're the
just-
Warhammer guy, then who am I?
I mean, you're Adam Jensen, the meme man.
The meme man himself. That's some pretty heavy duty meme wear you've got there. UX UNATCO.
Yeah.
What a rotten way to die. I think we've pulled it back. We've pulled the podcast back. It's okay.
I think we are at the mighty heights of Nobodies on the Noosphere, and you know what that means. Now that we're back here at
Your voice just
Nobodies
cut
on
out
the
twice. I
Noosphere.
couldn't hear what you were saying.
Oh. What? Am I not fucking son of a bitch? I was doing my brilliant segue, and I said
No,
now.
I couldn't hear it. You're gonna have to go, but you're gonna have to go back to the start of the sentence because I didn't.
Now that
hear
we're
any of
back,
what you said.
shut up. Now that we're back at the heights of what Nobodies on the Noosphere is and is loved for. Now that we've achieved Prime Podcast, I think it's time for the creme de la creme, the jewel of the Nobodies on the Noosphere podcast, the cherry on top to be placed to turn this into a real Nobodies on the Noosphere episode 3.
Legitimately the only good thing, and we stole it.
Do you know what time it is?
It's 2:05.
No, I mean yes, but no. Do you know what it's time for?
Brendan Fraser.
It's time for
audio
fucking
book.
Willem Dafoe movie pick. Yeah, okay. Willem Dafoe movie.
You see that corpse noise wasn't necessary. You're just overdoing it now.
Yeah, I know. The joke was going to be like the overhyped thing. But then people expecting I'm going to go Willem Dafoe movie pitch. But then I make corpse noises very loud and I hurt them. I hurt the audience. I cause them pain.
I know,
cause them
but it was
pain
just,
and suffering. I hurt
you need to separate your corpse noises more. You know. I mean, I don't wish to like be overly critical here or anything, but you need to like get your corpse noises under control because we don't want the bits to like become old or anything.
Willem Dafoe is a doctor. Star of stage and screen. Willem Dafoe is playing a doctor.
like a PhD medical doctor.
He's playing a doctor. In what some may call I guess sort of like a plastic surgery sort of place, clinic kind of thing, you know? Bit weird, bit the vibe to it, it's going to get built up, but I guess the way the movie starts is you get Brendan Fraser. You've heard of Brendan Fraser? Yeah, he's done The Mummy.
Is he the one from The Smile Man? from that short indie film, you might not have heard of it. It's called the Smiling Man, like the Smile Man. Was he from that one?
No, I don't think he was, but
The amount of dead air then was really good. That was a good bit.
That was pretty on point. So it's shot as a documentary. It's sort of it's one of those films where it pretends to be a real life documentary.
Like a mockumentary.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And Brendan Fraser's there, saying, "I'm Brendan Fraser, and what do you think about all this cosmetic surgery?" Ooh. And then it'll show some stats. So show some stats and figures about about the prices of cosmetic surgery, about the number of people who do it, and Brendan Fraser will be commenting on all this. Look at how much this fucking shit costs. Oh, fucking hell, too much. I got alimony to pay. Can't be paying for that shit. And, oh, look at all these dumb fucking cunts who pay that much. Too much money to many fucking people. Shit. Look at this stat. So many fucking bodge jobs. What kind of fucking retard would pay that much money for some pants on edge shit doctor to fuck their face with a rusty piece of crap? I'm Brendan Fraser, and we're going to expose the issues, the problems, the flaws with the plastic cosmetic surgery business one there. And it pans over. It does that interesting cinematic movie shot where, you know, Brendan Fraser was in focus, but then it shifts focus. So Brendan Fraser's now out of focus, and you see behind him.
Your voice is cutting out again.
That's fine, don't worry. You see behind him. Brendan Fraser was in focus, now he's out of focus. Now it's going to focusing on what's behind him. And what's behind him...
Okay. I understand.
It won't come through on the thing, so we're recording our audio tracks separately. And stop fucking calling attention to it, you son of a bitch. And behind him...
Well, you know, if I don't call attention to it, then I'm not going to understand the art, the movie pitch.
Yeah, but this is a fucking radio show. You goddamn son of a bitch. Okay, that's fine, yeah. Point is, behind him, focus changes. It's a plastic surgery building place. It's one of them ones. You know what I mean? Get it?
I know.
Hear that?
I get it. I understand.
And Brendan Fraser says, alright, let's fucking go in there. And, you know, dramatic shot, dramatic tense music, dramatic, slightly washed out sort of camera, all heavy lighting. Brendan Fraser walking up, striding up, saddling up like a fucking, like a western cowboy, entering the saloon. He kicks in the door. Glass shatters.
Is this like a shaky cam shot? Like there's like a person holding it behind him who's like trying to film all of it.
Maybe. Possibly. Yeah. Let's say that. He kicks in the door. It's, you know, like glass and shit. So glass breaks, shatters, going through. He's wearing steel capped fucking boots. Combat steel capped boots with cleats on the bottom. And yeah, he kicks in the door, glass everywhere, and he walks in to the reception area, the foyer of the plastic surgery, cosmetic surgery building place. At the desk, the receptionist, the attendant, the person there, is played by star of stage and screen. You may have heard of this actor. Played by Willem Dafoe.
Was he in The Mummy?
I don't think so. He might have played the mummy in The Mummy. He does have a pretty ghoulish appearance, but
He does have the physical features of an Egyptian mummy.
Of an ancient corpse. Yeah. So Willem Dafoe's there is like, hello there, person who just kicked in the door. What do you plastic surgery want to buy?
Wait, I have a question. When he kicked in the door, did he just walk through the door after that, or did he like put his hand in while being very careful not to cut himself, and then open it from the inside?
I imagine one of
do?
the doors like came off its hinges, the other one just like swung open and just like smacked against like the wall. It's been set up.
Okay, so this is a dual door situation. I was imagining it as just one door, but he just kicked through it.
No, okay, let me paint the picture better for you. Like I imagine like the whole front of the sort of building is glass. Sort of thing. So you got, you know, these two like big window sections, and you got, you know, these mostly glass doors.
Right.
And then like you got like the, you know, plastic surgery building sign above. It's called plastic surgery building in, you know, very elegant font. So you know he's kicked through the door. One of them's like mostly torn off its hinges. There'll be like explosives rigged to make this all, very practical effects. But
yeah.
So yeah, Willem Dafoe like, what would you like to buy for a plastic surgery one do? And Brendan Fraser's there and says, I'm not here to buy. I'm here to try and figure out what it is you're fucking doing, you cunt. And Willem Dafoe, as the fucking receptionist one, says, okay, please wait here, sit, do one. That wasn't a corpse noise, it was a Willem Dafoe noise, don't confuse them.
Yeah. Distinct.
So Brendan Fraser says, oh, okay then, you fuck. And he walks and sits on, the modern seating with glass all about the floor. It plays some tense music. It doesn't have an over the shoulder shot of the tense music.
I was expecting you to say he breaks the glass furniture. He just kicks through it. He just systematically tries to destroy everything in this establishment.
Hold on, not there yet. No, it does. It's the over the shoulder shot. It does another one of those change focus from Brendan Fraser's shoulder to Willem Dafoe, receptionist, on the phone. It's muffled. You can't hear what they're saying there. Brendan Fraser, he looks at the little table bit in the there's some magazines on there, and he picks them up and he looks at, oh, look at this fucking pamphlet about surgery I want to do. You can buy a nose for like £1,000. You can buy a new head for like $50, and an hand there for 4,000 rubles. He says it in a very weird voice. Like the camera sort of goes down a bit.
But most importantly, the currency is different.
Yeah, the currency is different every time, but that's not. But that one he says it in a weird voice. Like the camera sort of shifts a bit, and you hear what sounds like the director saying, "What was that? Did you say that weird?" And Willem Dafoe looks weirdly off camera, and then it cuts, and and you see cuts over to Willem Dafoe attendant one, and he stands up. Walks. I should note, Willem Dafoe is in drag, dressed as a female receptionist nurse.
Okay, my mental image was already of him in drag. So
yeah, I'm imagining sort of essentially, the Silent Hill nurses.
Yeah.
That. Equally as weird dried brown bloody,
like fairly short skirts as well.
Yeah,
you just see Willem Dafoe's legs.
He's wearing heels, of course. And he walks. You see him walk off, back behind, into the back room, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then it cuts back to Brendan Fraser looking tense, he's wide-eyed, he's gone. Where is it gone? Where's it? He starts his eyes start to water a bit. Where's it gone? Where's it? He's getting red in the face. His face is getting red, very scrunched up. Where's it gone? Where's it gone? His eyes are basically screwed shut by now. Where's it gone? It's zooming in this whole time on his face. It's now uncomfortably close. Where's it gone? Where's it gone? Then you hear from the back room, to break the massive tension, okay, you can come in now. It cuts back to Brendan Fraser. You see him slowly, over the course of 5 to 8 seconds, unscrew up his face, uncomfortably slowly, opening one eye at a time, very slowly, like not slow motion, just him doing it slowly.
Is there like a mic placed so near you can like hear the sounds of his eye opening? It's like
Yeah,
kind of like a
just sure.
sound, like a
That'll be added in post. Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe no. He's just making slurp noises while he does it. As he slowly unscrews his
So he's just
face.
opening his eyes and he's just like
Yeah.
That's good.
And then it
That's good.
says, "Oh, I'm Brendan Fisher. Gonna find out about plastic surgery." Oh. He then stamps on the fucking table that had the pamphlet on it, shatters it, glass everywhere again.
like a scissor kick. It's like
I imagine sort of like a curb stomp sort of thing of this table, like the Isaac
but
stomp.
there's
from
a
Dead
lot
Space,
of
you know?
there's a lot of pressure there. There's
Yeah.
it's just completely shattered to
Yeah,
pieces.
he makes
by
very much an
his
Isaac
iron
grunt.
stomp.
Yeah, it's
Mm.
very violent. And then he turns around, he grabs tries to like drag the seating, like throw it. He can't really do it, so he drags it a bit along the ground, and like pushes it up against the wall like violently and shakes it a bit. He seems angry that he couldn't lift it up and throw it or something, but like obviously had no chance. It was way too big. But he says, "Oh, let's go find out some truth." So he walks back. He walks around. He goes around to the back, into the same behind area that Willem Dafoe, as the receptionist nurse lady one, did go through. And you see, it's very tense. Like it does, like sort of I don't know how to describe this. Like it would be rigged up for, like, you know, one of those things where you get like the chest rig of the like camera looking like at the guy's face sort of thing.
Yeah. I
it'd be-
know what you're saying.
That's how it would be shot, and it would be like Brendan Fraser as he walks like in slow motion, sweating, and you just hear like very loud. Brendan Fraser, I'm Brendan Fraser. Alimony. That's sort of the breathing going on when he does this. Very slowly, and you hear like, and he goes to the door, and he slowly creakingly opens it, and he stares down, and like the camera, I guess how you'd rig this up would be like, it's like on like a little spinny motor bit, so it spins around slowly. I became Brendan Fraser while saying slowly there, but slowly it spins out. So it slowly spins around, and you see this long hallway with like doors, incredibly regular either side, but all boarded up. Like doors, like the doors are so common, each could not lead to an individual room. Like each door is inches from the prior door.
Okay, right, yeah, okay.
So you're dying a bit.
That didn't sound healthy.
That's fine. And they're all like they're either boarded up or like they're clearly locked or they're inaccessible. And they're all sort of like all very washed out. You know, the room is grey, sort of white walling of what wall is there that isn't covered by door. All the doors are, you know, grey, brown sort of thing. But at the end of the hallway is one incredibly bright, vibrant red door. And then it slowly spins around back to Brendan Fraser, and he's walking. I'm Brendan Fraser. Walking, sweating profusely, ridiculous amounts of sweat. He starts
Like literal buckets.
like
sweat.
he starts like having to spit to get it out of like his mouth so he can keep breathing. It's like it's a lot of sweat.
Does he have to like some like yes, so like almost like close his eyes because some of the sweat's getting in there? Like
Yeah, like he keeps like trying to
sort of
push it
twitch.
away and just like, it's gonna have to be like some hosing sort of system rigged up in his hair to make this again practical effects, all done with practical effects. It's gonna be done on a budget.
As long as the camera's close enough to his face, then it doesn't then the
Yeah,
practical
yeah.
effects will become easier.
Yeah, and so he's walking down this hallway. This scene takes about, because this is in slow motion, of course, as well as being him very slowly walking. So this scene is about like half an hour to 45 minutes.
Is it in 4K as well, so you can see every
Every
like drop?
every pore on Brendan Fraser's very
But
porous
it's just
face.
but it's just that bit that's in 4K and the rest's in like 360p.
Yeah, all the rest of this is in 144p, but this bit's in 4K. Uh, yeah, he's walking. 45 minutes. He finally gets there. Hand on the door, like it cuts now, so it's another over-the-shoulder shot. It cuts and you just see the rigging a bit, and then like it quickly move down the camera, like cut up again. It's gone. Don't worry about that. He slowly is opening the red door. And first of all you see the ground. It's like this rusty sort of floor. Like it's all like it's this like as soon as you see it, like it's like sickly brown, almost like dried blood. Very scary.
Hmm.
Pushes open like it's metallic grating, rusted. This
Is there any music,
foundry.
or is it just silent? Or is it just ambient?
It's just like the sound of this creaking door, and it's like this metallic sound. Like as the door starts opening, like metallic grating sounds start to be heard. Like there's tools or something being manoeuvred, or something like industrial happening. Can't quite tell.
Mm.
So getting louder, and he's pushing open this door for about 8 minutes. Pushes open this
And
door.
not in slow motion this time, or
No,
in slow motion still.
No, this is real time, just him very slowly pushing open the door.
Like he has an amazing amount of muscle control to be able to make such slight movements.
Yeah, like occasionally he goes too far, but he goes back a little bit,
Yeah, just like put. Yeah,
Some
occasionally just jolts because of the amount of adrenaline coursing through his system.
Yeah,
Because of the amount of sweat.
like a few times he probably restarts because he jumps back and the door swings closed again. But yeah, very slowly pushing open this door, inch by inch, degree by degree. This door arcs open. It's all sort of downwards angle, so you only ever see the floor. And then, it slowly pans up over the shoulder, pans on a little bit, and you see this whole room. It's all this rusted covering iron. If you've seen, the other world from like Silent Hill games, sort of the
Yeah.
Silent Hill 3, especially sort of looking, that sort of thing is what I'm thinking.
Mm. I've got a strong mental image.
Yeah. With like lots of fucking like tables all around. Like the roof, you can't see how high the room goes, but it goes pretty high by the looks of it. And there's tables all around with, instruments and tools on them. Can't quite make out any of them. But in the middle of the room is like an operating table. Like it's saturated with this brown dried ick, probably dried blood or human matter. Can't tell. And standing over it, holding like a spinning like saw, like the Borderlands bandit pizza cutter weapon type thing.
No.
Okay.
But I think I know what you mean.
Like a big spinny saw axe sort of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
And a giant, like Looney Tunes looking syringe. Clearly made of plastic. Like clearly, like they ran out of budget for the Looney Tunes syringe. It's massive. It's as big as the Willem Dafoe's
Clearly,
leg.
like not safe for medical use, or like even
it's a plastic
having
toy.
it be possible.
You like to put this into someone like would be equivalent to punching a hole through them. It like with your bare hand. It's not a needle.
And it would require like the same amount of force because it's just plastic.
You might require more just to heft the thing, but it's as big as Willem Dafoe's leg,
Okay.
and he's like holding it under one arm. And it's Willem
Right.
Dafoe wearing very tight underpants.
Still in drag.
No, it's a new costume. But that's the first thing I assume most people will notice: the very tight underpants, like stained.
Like it's very. Leaves nothing to the imagination.
It like I mean, you can't see his dick, but
Can you see like an outline of it?
no, but I mean,
So not that tight then.
I mean, okay, like it'll be done in such a way where like there'll be a cut sort of to some degree, but you realise you can see our mass, and the mass gives you an idea, you know.
But and this is in 144p now. This is
Yeah,
you blew the budget on the 4K.
yeah. No trousers, bare legs. He's wearing one bunny slipper and one like oversized. It looks like a kid's shoe, like very sort of stylized, sort of thing, like like the children's ones.
Right.
He's wearing like a weird vest made out of like a weird like potato sack vest, sort of thing.
Right, yeah, okay.
And on his
yeah,
arms,
yeah.
all down his arms, he's got like, those sort of like rubber band bracelet type things you can get to like support charities.
Yeah.
He's got so many of them covering his arms.
Like the whole arm.
Yeah, like the whole arm is just going all the way up, going all the way down, just lots of them. Maybe a few of those like, I don't know if these are a thing anymore, these two things, but you get like this band, like you slap it on your arm and it wraps around your arm.
The thing is, I'd imagine like just slightly up the arm, the wrist's a bit thinner there, so it might be a bit difficult for them to tightly wrap around there. So there'd just be this area where it's completely devoid of armbands. Maybe, I don't know. You're the pitch man here.
Yeah, it varies, but there's variation all throughout, all up and down. It's not the same thing, It's visually interesting. It's
I guess they're all of different sizes as well, because they have to be.
It's a very thing good one do. And Willem Dafoe just grins maniacally, wide-eyed, and then it pans back around to Brendan Fraser, and like it does like the sort of like the weird comedy zoom in sort of thing, it's very out of place, because after this like weird horror thing, just a weird comedy zoom in, like, oh my god, it's plastic surgery, and it's just zooming in and out, back and forth, like Fizz kind of like going like side to side, so like one of those sort of like weird YouTube videos, like unboxings.
I guess the thing at this point is that the audience sat through like half an hour of Willem Dafoe's face not Willem Dafoe, Brendan Fraser's face in 4K, and also like 5 minutes of him slowly opening a door.
8 minutes, get it right.
8 minutes.
Yeah. So
you've got to give him something.
Got to give him the payoff.
Got to spice up the pace.
This is the emotional payoff, I feel, of the movie right here. This is people are going to remember, and people they say like no, I am your father. That they remember that, or they remember fucking other things from movies like Indiana Jones getting his hat or something. They're gonna remember Brendan Fraser going as the camera just goes fucking mental.
Like it spins all around, the operator drops it at one point, then picks it back up. And continues filming.
Like he's like trying to do like weird tricks of it, like he's like walking to the side, walking to the left, just like he does like big leans while doing it. It's yeah. And like at one point he gets too close,
like at some point Brendan Fraser, like his eyes like quickly move to like right into the camera lens, like, can I stop? It just like
like at one point the cameraman like bumps into Brendan Fraser, like it's like like he keeps going. So credit to the man.
Yeah. At one point it looks over at Willem Dafoe and he's just still got the big grin.
He hasn't moved at all. Hasn't moved a muscle. Still threateningly like holding up the pizza cutter knife thing. And this goes on for about 17 minutes.
At this point, you'd have to put it in special IMAX cinemas where for like Avatar they had chairs that moved around. For this one, you'd also have chairs that moved around in this scene just to give people motion sickness.
Yeah. So essentially, just let Ted just spin left and right too quickly. It's not good, but yeah.
Yeah, they spin left and right, and then immediately they set up a pattern and then immediately break it.
Yeah. It's really sickening, and that would be the ideal. That's the optimum viewing experience. So yeah, 17 minutes of that, and then Brendan Fraser thoroughly out of breath. He stopped to breathe a few times during that, but yeah, he was giving his all.
But sometimes he goes a bit too long, and he's like, and then has to like take a breath and then continue.
Yeah. So it doesn't have up. It pans back to Willem Dafoe and says, "Are you ready?"
The cameraman has been, but the cameraman has been consistently keeping up the interesting angles.
Yeah.
The
I mean,
leaning.
he stops for the pan. Once it's pan, it's back to like very stationary, very in control. But so Willem Dafoe is, are you ready for the plastic surgery do one? Yeah. And then it pans back to Brendan Fraser, and it's no, my face is good. And then it does like a weird smile, and it zooms in very close on his smile.
He does just like one of those smiles that's not consistent. He kind of like
it's like
moves from a neutral to a smile. Like
it's
repeatedly.
like a weird, sort of a rapey smile. Like his face is very much down. Like he's got a sinister look in his eye, kind of. It's
but it just keeps zooming in until it's like just the nose.
Until it's just like
like
his like lips. Like it's not great.
Except it's back in 4K again.
Yeah. I imagine it changes very quickly. But then it pans back out quickly. I don't want plastic surgery. I'm not here for that. I'm perfect the way I am. Thank you. He smiles again. Zooms in on his lips again.
Except this zoom is 5 minutes long. Keeping up the smile.
Yeah. Zooms back out. I'm not here for any of that. I'm here. He stops. He looks very serious now. He was like doing like weird smiling, grinning during all this. Very serious now. It's just like maybe some like ambient music, like tends like da 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 da. To Hans Zimmer sort of music. We'll get Hans Zimmer in for this one shot.
Yeah.
I'm here for the truth. Starts spitting. Pans back.
And it goes and it pans back to Willem Dafoe, and he's just still smiling.
Still grinning, and you see spit landing on his face.
I didn't know Willem Dafoe. I didn't know Brendan Fraser was that close to Willem Dafoe.
It's not really like it doesn't quite match up with continuity. Like they're clear, like they're like 5 meters away from each other, but it's just don't worry about it. It's starting like
Okay.
face, but pans back to.
I know what you mean.
Pans back to Brendan Fraser. For a while, like 2 minutes. Pans back to Willem Dafoe.
And at some point he like runs out of spit, and like the producer gives him a bottle of water.
Yeah. And well, not for that. Just there's 2 minutes. Pans back to Willem Dafoe. Quite a bit of spit on his face. Pans back to Brendan Fraser. This is where the bottle of water is handed over. He drinks. Pans back to Willem Dafoe. A lot of spit on his face. For a while.
Just like covered.
In the background.
Covered.
Pans back to Brendan Fraser. This goes on back and forth for about 20 minutes.
And Willem Dafoe is just completely
by the end of it, Willem Dafoe is just covered in slime. And I mean, it's mostly like water. It's just
like
Brendan Fraser will drink a bottle of water
the
and
tight
put up
briefs
water.
he had on are just completely damp. Like,
I mean, well, you can't see that. It's chest up, but
Oh,
is
it? Okay.
But
Okay.
the weird sack shirt, the potato sack shirt, has a lot of spit on it. Mostly his face. It's covered in mucus and water. I mean, I imagine a lot of the mucus gets washed off because eventually Renofre's just spitting out back the water he's putting into his mouth. But you get the idea.
Yeah.
It's gross. It's very disgusting. It's very body horror. It's gonna make people think.
Yeah, it's exactly like The Thing by John Carpenter.
Yeah. And so Willem Dafoe says, "Oh, you're one of them, are ya?" Zooms in on his eyes as like spit drops down from his brow onto
How
his
far? How
cheeks.
fast does it zoom in?
Quite fast, like still a little bit shaky as it zooms. Yeah. Another sort of comedy zoom doesn't quite seem right, but zooms in on his eyes. 4 minutes.
Yeah. Is this one in 4K?
Maybe. For some parts of it, it pans between higher and lower resolution. It's a very complicated editing rendering job to do it, but they do it.
Sometimes you have to sacrifice yourself for your art.
Yeah. So fucking, he says, "All right then, you want the truth. Good for you. Now get out of my plastic surgery building 1. Then it pans back to Brendan Fraser. And he says, "Oh." He looks down. He looks at his hands. Stares at them. Emotional music comes on. Like 9 Inch Nails Hurt starts coming on. It's maybe I've come in here in your plastic surgery building, broken your glass door and table a bit, spit on you for 20 minutes. Maybe plastic surgery ain't the villain. Or maybe I'm just as bad." Vomits a bit. It's still at his hands, but you just see vomit between his hands. It's a very small amount of it, but it's clearly vomit.
Also, yeah, I just realised that Willem Dafoe was smiling the whole time that he was getting spit on.
Yeah.
So his spit definitely went into his mouth.
A lot went into his mouth. Yeah, but so yeah, vomits a little bit. He looks back up. "A plastic surgery building man. I'm sorry for what I did. I'm so sorry for what I did. Can you forgive me, plastic surgery man?" Willem Dafoe. This is done in first person sort of thing, from Brendan Fraser's perspective. Willem Dafoe looks at him. His face goes very dour. Frowns. Just a little frown, small frown. Very serious though. With the hand that's holding the pizza cutter still up, he drops the pizza cutter. He wipes a phenomenal amount of spit and mucus and water from his face.
It's just so thick.
Yeah.
There's just so much of it.
Disgusting. So much. Just
disgusting, viscous mass of spit on his face.
Yeah. Wipes off a hand wipe off that.
His eyes have been open the whole time, smiling. His spit went into his eyes and mouth.
Yeah. So it says, "Mr. Truth Seeker Man, I don't like you, but I respect you. Go Go and seek the truth. Go and seek the truth, truth seeker man. It pans back from like Willem Dafoe out the back of his head, and the camera pans back, and you see the two in their room, and it pans back through the corridor, and it pans back into the foyer entrance building bit, and it pans back over the wrecked glass doors, and it pans up, and it goes into like a Google Maps picture satellite view, pans up, and it pans up, and it's all of America, the country, and it pans up, and it's all of the continent America too, and it pans up, and it's all of the world, that hemisphere one bit, and it pans up, and you see the pans past the moon, and it pans further, and you see the planet, and you see the sun, and it pans further back, and you see the fucking the other ones, and you pans further back, and you see the whole Milky Way galaxy, and it pans further back, and you see Andromeda and the other ones, and it pans further back, and you see a fucking marble. So far back, you see a marble. The void. That's the universe, that marble. And you see Brendan Fraser pick it up. Brendan Fraser in like the Matrix white area. You see Brendan Fraser pick up the marble off the ground, stare at the marble, stare at it. For 2 minutes he stares at the marble, and he eats the marble, and he looks at the camera, and over the course of 10 minutes, it fades to black as he stares at the camera.
I'm guessing he doesn't blink during this whole time.
He does blink. He does blink. No.
He does blink, okay. What's his facial expression?
Serious, neutral. Very serious.
Okay.
And that
I
was
like it.
that was the truth of plastic surgery.
I like it. It's a lot like 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Oh.
You know, at the end it shows the space baby. Except this one
Yeah.
has Brendan Fraser eating the universe.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
It symbolises man's dominion over his realm and this.
I mean, you don't want to set a hard what it actually means. You want to.
I mean, that's
leave it up
part
to the
of it.
audience's interpretation.
That's what I expect most to get out of it. There's many layers to it, of course, but that's.
It's like a Synecdoche, New York.
Yeah, you know, like, I mean, but that's like the obvious one. You know, the obvious one is there's the man's dominion, but there's much further you can take it, right?
He seeks the truth.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you need to take away.
Yeah, really, Brendan Fraser represents all of humanity, and Willem Dafoe represents the universe, arguably. But, you know. Yeah.
That was pretty good. I enjoyed that one.
I think we saved the podcast!
We did it.
We did it! Yeah! Wowie zowie. What a fucking nightmare. No one's going to listen far enough to hear that. Oh well, that's
We
fine.
did it. We did it. There you go. Episode 4 coming soon.
Probably going to cut before this because this is bad. Alright then, yeah, it's done. Podcast
No.
over.
This is, listen, we've reached new levels of meta here. We need to keep this in.
Okay, this is the after ending bit. Yeah.
Okay.
Fuck
What,
it.
like the bit that goes psh, and then they have the bit you have like the psh static effect that you use often.
Yeah.
You know, it goes psh, and then static. Because you've had that one time when it went psh, and then it was like self-deprecating humor.
Yeah, alright then, I'm going to stop recording now.